here's a funny one that was sent from a subscriber who shares how he learned at a young age to be very careful when you're hooking up with a gal when you're drunk, and obviously letting the beer goggles take over and the bad thing that can happen potentially as a result of it. He says here, "Hello SSM. One of your recent videos inspired me to share a story about one of my brothers. More accurately, a half-brother to a half-brother." My mind's wrapped around that one, but fair enough. "He was 21 or 22 years old. I was about 15 years old at the time. I am now 49. He came to our dad's house. My dad is not biologically his dad, but my dad is the father of his half-brother about a year before this went down, out during a night of drinking, and he had unprotected you-know-what with a woman. This brother could not hold a job and was booted during boot camp when he tried to join the army, so he can't even claim veteran status. He was that bad." Sounds like a real winner. "When he showed up at our house that day, he was hiding from the woman that he had unprotected you-know-what with about a year prior. This woman showed up looking for him. Now, he was 4 to 6 inches taller than me. She was 4 to 6 inches taller than him." Bro, how tall are you? "She was wearing a sleeveless sundress, aka a muumuu dress, and her arms, legs, and pits were hairier than any guy I've ever seen. And she had a child with her, and that was just a few months old." So he hooked up with Chewbacca's sister. "She proceeded to force him into the car, saying he was going to help her raise their child. He was pleading with our dad for help. Our dad called the rest of us over and used the situation as a teaching lesson. He said, 'This is what happens when you get drunk and have unprotected you-know-what with a woman that you met in a bar.' I remember asking my dad, 'Is that a SASQUACH?' That was the last time I ever saw him face to face. I've heard from him a few times, so I know he is alive, but I basically know nothing about what has happened to him during his life." Yeah, he went on to have more future Chewbaccas and Sasquatches with this woman. What the hell? But guys, it's a good point, because I think there isn't one guy watching this at least once hooked up with some gal they met at a bar or a party and you were trashed, and the next morning if she was still around or you were at her place, you took one look at her and you're like, what the hell was I thinking? Happened to me one time. I'll definitely remember this. I was 22, finishing up before I dropped out of college to start my first business, and I remember walking out and I'm with this girl and it's like, oh my god, what the hell was I thinking? And at the time I had 2 roommates, a guy and a girl. The girl was like a sister to me. She was cool. One of the few rare ones that were cool. And my roommate, she just looked at me like, what the hell? What were you thinking? And then proceeds to talk to the girl so much that the girl wouldn't leave. And I'm there trying to make some food, looking at her like, stop talking to her because she won't leave. And finally I had to pretend to like leave to go to my college job to get her out of the freaking house. Perfect example there. We all did it, but I got lucky because nothing happened. But be careful, gentlemen. Moral of the story.